We're on our way to run the Sugar Creek Loop just west of Oklahoma City. It's a roughly 50-mile loop of rural roads kind of centered around the towns of Hinton and Binger, Oklahoma. Before we start today, we're going to go to the Bridgeport Pony Bridge over the Canadian River in Canadian County. It's on the historic Route 66. So we have about 45 minutes left until we get to the Pony Bridge. Until then, enjoy the ride. We started the Sugar Creek Loop to the northeast of the town of Hinton, Oklahoma, and headed south. As you can imagine, there were some extended sections of just plain gravel county roads, but after 20 minutes or so, it turned into a more winding route of red shale roads with lush vegetation on each side. Several places with red shale cliffs on either side of the road as well. As you can see, it rained the morning that we planned our outing. The early sections of the trail were no problem. This red shale was very good at absorbing the moisture. Here in a minute, we'll get to a section where it's changed to more of a sandy road and the conditions got slick. We could have continued on, but we felt like we were doing damage to the road, so we decided to turn back and try it again another day. The second day we were out here, the conditions were much drier and bright sunshine. That's why you'll notice that in some of our video there are puddles on either side of the road and the weather is a little overcast, and in other sections of our video it's bright sunshine with dry roads. When you're on this loop, it's important to remember that these are technically public roads. Farmers and families and oil field workers use these roads to get to their fields and homes and oil equipment. I'm sure they get enough damage just from normal traffic after a rain. We don't want to do any additional harm to the roads. Virtually all of Sugar Creek Loop is located in Caddo County. Caddo County is in west central Oklahoma and features gypsum hills and red bed plains. It covers over 1,290 square miles and is drained by the Washita River and various creeks such as the Sugar and Pond Creeks. The Canadian River also touches the northeast corner. The landscape includes deep canyons like Red Rock Canyon near Hinton and Devil's Canyon near Lukiva. As a sad part of our nation's history, the Choctaw and Chickasaw were relocated here in the 1820s and 30s from the southeastern U.S., followed by the Kiowa, Comanche, and Apache in the southern part of the county, and the Wichita and Caddo north of the Washita River by 1868. Caddo County was officially established on August 6, 1901, when the land was opened to settlers. The county's economy has long been driven by agriculture and the petroleum industry, with wind energy now playing a significant role thanks to 110 wind turbines. As of 2020, the population was 26,934. For outdoor lovers, Caddo County offers Red Rock Canyon Adventure Park, Fort Cobb Lake, Lake Chickasha, and Lake Ellsworth. The county is also rich in history, featuring several archaeological sites and 8 listings on the National Register of Historic Places. Here we're coming up on our first water crossing. This day it had been roughly a week or so since it had rained. I bet after a little bit of rain that water crossing would be a little more exciting. This is where the trail starts to get interesting. Once you take this left turn, you will pass a road closed sign. As you can see, this trail is not very well maintained, if at all. It's certainly not impassable, but there are some sections that are a little more difficult. A streetcar would not be able to make it down this section of the trail. Perhaps a lifted Subaru would be able to handle it okay, but certainly any four-wheel drive SUV or pickup would make it down this trail without a problem. Once we get to the end of this trail, you'll see the reason for the road closed sign. Here we're coming up on the reason for the road closure. I've seen sections of this trail put up by other YouTubers, and I'm guessing that this section has washed out significantly since those other videos have been uploaded. The video does not do this justice. It is pretty steep and tall and stair-stepped. I want to say that the videos that I've seen previously, there was dirt piled up against it, and it was more just a steep hill as opposed to kind of that rocky ledge stair step. Since I was out here by myself this day, I opted not to attempt to climb the hill and just went back, and I think I went 2 miles to the south and back around and got back on the trail. After traveling down Highway 37 for a few miles, you arrive in the town of Kogar, and we made it to this gas station that was made famous in the movie Rain Man. Kind of an interesting sight to see. As we approach Purgatory Road, the trail gets interesting again. Steep cliffs on each side. The road is not very well maintained, if at all. Certainly not something you would want to take your streetcar on. I think any four-wheel drive pickup or SUV would not have a problem, but certainly more challenging than some of the other sections of the trail. When we get ready to turn on to Purgatory Road, you'll see that the road narrows and steepens a little bit, and you enter a section that has walls of 30 feet or more on either side. I knew there was a washed out section at the bottom of this, so I did not want to drive down there and then have to back up this hill. So you'll see me hop out and walk down there and check it out. There are actually two ledges, one about 18 inches to 2 feet, and then another that is 3 to 4 feet deep. I knew there was no way that I could go down this without sustaining damage to my vehicle, so turned around and called it a day. This wraps up the first part of our Sugar Creek Loop tour. Stay tuned for the second half, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more overlanding adventures and off-road builds. Until next time, stay free.